Good morning, everyone. New day, fresh start. All right, welcome to the morning game plan. I am your host, Manny. The purpose of this show is simple: live futures trading, real time technical analysis, and actionable trade setups, all with a focus on building real trading skills and the mindset designed to drive consistent profitability. Every morning, come in with the same goal to build out the structure
Target
before the
filled.
open so that I'm operating in alignment with the day's dominant forces. And we got the weakness that I've been expecting. I know a couple of you have been know that I've been expecting this weakness, and that's what we're getting here today. So I'm pretty happy about that. I've got a couple of good short positions on. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. Yeah, things are moving along quite nicely here. All right. Let me just check it out. All right. All right. Cool.
Target filled.
Got the target, guys. Got these targets. Targets are just late. Targets are just getting hit left and right. I'm loving it. It's feeling kind of good. So just to quickly catch up here, let me just get make sure that these positions are being closely monitored here. All right. Still got that. Okay. All right. Yeah, so we're getting that weakness that we've been kind of expecting. I've been looking forward to all week. Let me just check one other thing out here. Hang tight. Just need to check this URL here. Hang on with me. Stay with me here. Okay. All right. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, so we got this week the weakness that we've been expecting. Price is moving down very nicely. I've got a core position on short from last night, 75.88. So yeah, that's working out very nicely, and we'll see. You know, this is. Let me just get back to the analysis here. One second. Hang on. Let me just dot my i's and cross my q's. Dot my i's and cross my t's here. Great, great. All right. All right. All right, cool. Thanks. Okay. Back at it here. Thank you. Sorry, I'm trying to run. I'm still running the pit live stream, helping those guys, making sure that they're all lined up and right, and then trying to also monitor this position. Kind of a little bit going on here, a little bit going on, but we'll get it sorted out. Yep, for sure. Yeah, so in a minute, I'll do the deep dive into this setup, what got me short, and how I'm going to be managing the position for the rest of the day. Again, and then just let me. Just want to watch this here because I am looking at taking another core position very soon. And I'll show you guys how I'm going to execute that in a moment. Hopefully be able to get it on live. Let me just make sure I have this ATA right. And by ATA, what I mean is just the PTG auto trade assistant that I use to help it's just a core strategy that is it complements what I'm doing personally. So, I have the core setups that I trade every day, and those are put out as the market blueprint. And then I also have additional strategies, and these are the PTG, the Polaris Trading Group strategies. And I like to have them running aside from what I'm doing. I frequently talk about the tough part of these is just allowing them to operate autonomously that meaning you don't touch them. So you'll often see that I could be long a position in one account, and then I could be short in a position, another account. And that's just because I'm running different strategies. So hopefully that doesn't confuse anyone. Okay, let me just get this going here. All right. Okay. All right, guys. So just tuning on in, I'm going to zoom out to the higher time frame. Let me just circle back to this position here to make sure that I get my stop in here. I don't want to see this get back above this candle high print at 75.60. So that's locking in about 5 points. Actually, I'm going to put it about 5 points above this candle print. That's 75.55. If it comes, a few points above there, then I want out. I'm okay taking the stop loss there, and hopefully, and what I'm trying to do is capture the next leg of the trade. So we'll see if that pans out. Let's see. This one going here, so everything's right there. And then let me close down some of these browsers just so I can get back to proper I don't want to overwhelm my resources on my PC. As it is, I'm already running quite thin here. All right, so let me close this out. And then let me close a bunch of these out. All right, let me know, sound off, where you're checking in from. Let me know where you're checking in from. Let's see, we have another, this trade is just blowing up to the downside. So watch out, heading lower. As I said, I'm trying to manage the two different live streams here at the same time. It's definitely something. I think today's going to be one of those days, guys, where you don't try to fade this at all. Obviously, I've been expecting some weakness, and I think that this can materialize. This could be like a downtrend day. So just be mindful of that. All right. In a moment, I'm going to be taking some profit on this on the core position here, and at 50 points, I think it is now time to take one off. Let me just get a quick screenshot of this. I'm going to share it with the group. Some added motivation. Okay. All right. That being said, oh, this must have, hang on, this is not right. Oh, gosh. Put this down at 33 if I can get it. I don't like this short here. Did I accidentally trigger this on the exit? I think I did. I don't think you can be. I'm gonna take this off here. I think when I was fumbling with those ATAs, god dang it, I'm gonna have to take this off for a 3-point loss on one. All right, so I'm gonna take that off. Wait, here it comes back down again. All right, let me know where you guys are checking in from. All right, thank you. These are the type of moves that make the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Let me know if you're checking in, where you're checking in from. Sound off if you're checking in from on YouTube, or if you're checking in on some other social channel. Let me know. If you're checking in from Substack, especially, give me a shot. Give me a quick check-in. For sure, want to make sure I get everyone in there and say hello to everyone. Don't be afraid to drop a comment. Again, so I'm kind of, all right, so here's the core position. It's just so many different things going on here. Unbelievable miss down there on that one. All right, I'm going to go through the details on this order in just a moment, so hang tight. Again, like I said, I'm just trying to get these ducks in a row. I'm gonna have to take that poor short off for a 5-point loss because this thing can just rip right up. I'll get better positioning later on it. This is that's going to be this. I think it's this trade here. Yeah, down quite a bit on that one. But as I said, I'm up nicely in the other account, so not going to stress. Not going to stress out about it very much. But I did peel one off for a 3-point loss. It just made sense. Yeah. Let me see what the low looks like. Yeah, the low of the day is definitely not in. 100% the low of the day is not in, guys. But I'm going to go ahead and peel this one off for a 6-point loss. I'll reload later. I thought it would slow down a little bit, but it's not doing that. Just maybe that stop makes more sense. I can hide behind that low volume node. Question is not, see, not, I don't like to add to losers though. That's like a hard rule for me. All right, look, I'm gonna give this contract a 3-point stop and see if I can wiggle my way out of this position though. I don't like to do this though. This is not. I think the strength of the momentum is pretty strong here. At least I hope so. At least that's the hope. Yeah, nope. This thing is gonna start to balance now. Let me see what was that high was 47.75. I think I've got to go up there somewhere, right? I mean that's just, you put the risk on, you have to accept it. Just a terrible execution on my behalf. I thought I was getting this other ATA in line, and instead I got this. So, yep. All right. Oh, fuck. It is what it is. God damn it. Here I was thinking I was gonna have one of those days, right, where like where you're just like doing no wrong. But that's not what's happening. All right, let me just wiggle out of this. Then I'll go over the thinking and why I've been preparing for this down move. I've been warning about it on the market blueprint, my trade plan that I post on Substack pretty much every day. And, I started talking about this down move last week when we were approaching 7,600, and I think that this is going to be a large down move. So hang tight for a second. Let me just wiggle my way out of this one. I've been short. So I've been short of this move since like yesterday at about 8 p.m. I entered in the pre-market. I saw the weakness. I saw the retest at 7,600. But let's just walk through that a little bit. Let me give you guys an update as to why this trade made sense for me and why I think the weakness is going to continue at least for some time. Okay, let's just go through that here. Hang tight. All right. And that's why I knew that's why I knew I wanted to hold this. You know, but the better trade. Okay, so this trade is starting to work out a little bit better now. Okay, there was this head and shoulders pattern that I was warning about, but I don't think that it's going to play out. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this drawing, remove those trend lines, and remove these rectangles. Okay, so I've been talking about this move for a while. I posted about it, and what I want to warn. Okay, so look, the trade is working out now a little bit nicer, right? So we're getting down into those lower levels. So pretty happy about that. I'm going to go ahead and take this other trade off here for a let's see, this is a 26-point gain. I'm going to go ahead and take it off. It's 10:30. We're at that time frame where you typically see a reversal in the trend. I just don't want to sit through it. I'd rather reshort it at the high, take it off here, and then reshort it at the high. Or what do you guys think? Do you guys think I should hold this? Should I sit through it, or do I reverse? I'm going to manage the other position, the terrible one, a little bit better, a little bit differently. That one I'm going to leave on. Hopefully we can get some traction on it. So the idea for this short setup was this. So I've been talking about this in the Pitbull Traders live stream, and what I've been pointing out is that, I mean, this goes back to like June 1st. Okay, this setup that I'm in, there's evidence going back to June 1st. So this was our June 1st high. Okay, and if you recall, the market came up. That was the all-time high. Then on this gap up, this gap right here was rollover. Okay, so this gap it happened on rollover, and the market gapped up on a news bounce. Okay, so it wasn't, and it's not really about what the gap did. It's about what didn't happen afterwards. So we've been having this environment where the market gets bad information, gets new news, and either it dips or it rips. But what happened on this one was, it came up, it tested the previous high, okay? And what did it do? It immediately looked above and failed, okay? So that's what we call a look above and fail. We looked above the prior high, and then the market fell, okay? And ever since then, we've been in this downtrend, lower high, lower high, lower high. Now, in my opinion, when it came down to this low, to the 72.30 low, the market was just getting a little bit too short. Now, what the anticipation for me is that this is an A, so part of an ABC. Let's see, let me get that. Let me just increase the size of that so you can see it a little bit more clearly. Okay, let's go draw this back out. So this was the all-time high. Okay. This was the all-time high. Tight. Let me just grab this. Sorry about that. Just trying to juggle a lot of different things here. So here, let's walk through this setup. So On June 1st, the market came up and we made our first initial high. Okay, this high was on June 1st. This high was 76.32. Okay, then subsequently we had the rollover gap. Okay, so the market was in a down. It tested 76.32 and then it rolled over, lower high, and then what happened? Well, then we had rollover, and rollover. The market was retracing the down move, and we had this rollover gap. Okay. Then what happened subsequently was the market came, it looked above the prior 76.32 high. It made a high of, let's see, the exact high with rollover now was, let's see. Let me just get rid of this. Let me grab this. Okay, so our high here was 76.48. Let's just make sure we mark that down, okay? 76.48. Okay, and then this high was 76.32. Okay, so then what happened was we did a look above and fail at the 76.32 high, and then it was just a back to the old regime of lower highs and lower lows. So I was warning in our private community. I said, hey, this is weak. We are very weak. And of course, in downtrends, some of the best moves in downtrend are moves back up. But we had this downtrend formulating, but this was the weakness, guys. This move higher, we rallied, and this rally on this Monday morning died at like 10 a.m. So there was never any new money buying. And in all of these days, we were just selling. The market would open, it would gap up, and then we would sell off during regular trading hours. And then we would gap up and we would sell off during regular trading hours. We had the big reversal on this Tuesday where we looked above. So this was the Monday high. And then on Tuesday, the next day, this red candle was that Tuesday where we looked above the Monday high and sold off hard for the rest of the day. I think we're going to see something like that today. All right. So then we were in this retracement, and of course, retracements have to end, right? There's going to be a subsequent reset of the inventory. The market was getting a little bit too short, in my opinion. But ultimately, what I think is happening here is that this is going to be viewed as, let's see, let me get this right here. This is going to be viewed as A. Let's just get a different color for that one. This is going to be viewed as A. This will be B. And then ultimately we'll get a C, and I'll show you where I think that might end in a moment. Okay, so circling back. So we had these lower highs. And then what did we do? So then now the market retraced that, right? So this was the trap, in my opinion. This was getting all these bulls long, right? And they trapped them. And now we have all these people thinking, hey, they have their eyes on all-time highs, but they're forgetting that since June 1st, the market has been weak. It's been weak. But since we've had such a strong uptrend, bulls got lulled to sleep. Okay, so ultimately, look at these wicks at highs, right? Those were tests higher. And if you noticed, during the last 2 weeks, what was the market doing? So it would have these. So if the market came in, if we opened like in the overnight session was weak, it would short cover that weakness, right? So it would rally, and then that rally was dying out midday, almost every day that was happening. And then in on the days where the market was strong, say it was gapping up overnight, that gap up would fade. So there was never a gap up that kept going. It would just fade, and those rallies were being sold into. It was distribution. I kept updating people in my community about it. If you don't know where that is, it's pitbulltraders.com. Check the link in the description, and you can find us there. All right. So remember, we had this weakness, and Hey, Easy Money. I didn't know I had anybody watching. So we had this weakness, and now we're rolling over. So ultimately, I think that this is going to be seen as a ABC. So typically, what I'm looking for, what you see in the ABCs, you got to move down here. Let's just back this out a minute. Let me get my yellow marker. Okay, so we go A, B, and I think we're going to see a retracement down into that low at some point. Okay, let's measure that out, right? Let's try to get some projections so that we're make sure that we have at least a decent idea for where this can end. All right, so to do that, I'm going to pull out my Fibonacci extension tool. I'm going to measure highs to lows to highs. And later on today, I'll make sure that these numbers are in alignment. So I'm expecting C to end at 7,300. However, because of the nature of where we got, right? So typically in a normal ABC style correction, you're looking for this C would be perfect. And I would even almost expect this C to be a higher low to this previous low down at 7,230. I would expect this low to be a higher low than this low. And I can tell you why I don't think that's going to be the case this time. Simply because in Elliott wave parlance, right? So we are at, on the higher time frame, on the weekly time frame, we are at a 5 of 5 of 5. So typically when you see those larger time frame wave counts come to a head in that fashion, what you're going to see is price goes on a deeper retracement. And I think that ultimately, we could be trading down to, 6,900, 6,800, at least to 7,000. All right. So that covers that. Thanks for checking in, Easy Money. Appreciate you. So I hope that makes sense. Let's see if this weakness continues. Let's see. I did get that cover at the 50-point target. So really happy about that. I got the cover at 38. So excellent. Really happy about that. All right, so here we go. Rolling over. Let's see. Let me clear out the board here. I have to manage this position a little bit differently as it's retracing on me. So I don't want to stay in this for very long. Admittedly, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. I've been through this before in that, I've got like three shorts on. And I don't want to stay that short, especially when, these bounce backs and these downtrends can be vicious. You can see a 50-point down move that subsequently followed that has a 20-point, 30-point retracement. So I'm going to go ahead and take a 3-point gain on this position here, just because it seems like we may be bottoming here for a moment. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back and check my trade plan, because I know that I'm coming very close to a support. 75.14 is what I'm looking at there. I'm just wondering if I got the fair value right. I hope I got fair value right. With the 10-year being everywhere, and the in order to get an accurate account for the fair value, you have to calculate the overnight interest rate. And here's the thing. So most traders lose, nobody wants to hear this. I mean, I'm going to just be honest with you. You may not want to hear this, but most traders don't lose money because they missed a move. They lose money because they chase it too late. You have to do the work and be prepared beforehand. For days, I've been warning about this 7,600 area. It was becoming a problem. And those of you who were on with me live yesterday saw that I was fading the market. I was keeping my risk tight. And so with that being said, the market again tested it overnight. Let's take a look at that, right? So this is, I got short last night. Let me just expand this chart out. All right, I'm focusing on this chart here. I'm going to drill it down to a 5-minute. All right, and I'll show you what happened. So you guys know yesterday the market blueprint had the high of the day at 7601, but we already know where that where that resistance is, right? We can see it here. All right, I just got stopped out of that one. I took 3 points, and then wait, I'm still in it. I'm about to close it. I'm about to close this one. Do I want to risk this? Can always reload later. Yeah. I made 3 points on the first. I'll go 2.5 points back from my entry. So this way, that's like 3 points back from my entry. You know what? I'll keep it there, just because I think this is going to be a strong trend. So anyhow, back to this. So yesterday we had this low, right? And I'm not saying this just because they're my levels, but guys, I put a lot of work into that market blueprint. You should. I'm really happy to share it because I think it can help us all make sense of this shit. We can make sense of this, and the market was talking to us up here. We identified that this 7,600 area was going to be the last chance for bulls, right? We knew that this could possibly be because of this high here. We've been talking about it for all last week, that the first sign that we were in a larger retracement was if we breached 7,500. We did that. We got above it. All right. So the market broke above 7,500. And then look, what did it do? It pulled back too, and it trapped. This is going to trap a lot of bulls looking for that extension higher, in my opinion. All right. I'm out of that trade. I'm out of that ad trade. Just wanted to close it out. All right. So look, let's follow this. So this, I think this was the trap. So then I was shorting it yesterday. If you guys recall, I was shorting it at about, it was early in the morning. So I think I shorted at 75, 78. I was shorting it. I was shorting it in here. I was keeping the risk tight. I was only doing like one contract because I was just testing it. I was willing to add lower, which is exactly what I did over here on this position now. So then it rallied and I flipped. I started getting long in here. And I caught I caught 2 long trades, and then I caught a short off of my trade plan up here at the end of the day. But that trade, I just took the scalp and I closed it. Okay. And you guys know, you guys look back at the feed, I had those levels up there yesterday. And I can, just so that you know that it's not front running. So anyhow, looks like I might enter this short again, guys. I might enter this short again. The momentum on the order flow just caught my eye. Hang tight. All right, so let me finish this play by play. So yesterday, I was shorting it in here, got stopped out. Shorting it in here, got stopped out. I got stopped out 3 times on the short, but each time it was like one fourth of a position. And then here's where I flipped and I started getting long. I caught a little piece of this. A little piece of that move, and then I caught some of this move long, and then I tried it again short, and then the market bounced into the close, and I closed it. I had to close out the trade. It was a prop account, right? Okay, so then we got. I knew that we were testing into this significant resistance point. So I was aware, and I just fortunately, like last night, I was home, and I was able to watch the 6 p.m. open. So this was our 6 p.m. open, right? Just about here. And what did price do? It came up to 76.01 and I knew it. I was like, oh man, let's see what happens. And it rolled over. So right in here at 7,600, this was about 6. I shorted my first contract on this retracement at like 75.90. Okay. And then when this break happened, it took like a while. So I think I entered the first position like seven. Let me see, what time was that? That was about 7 o'clock. Yep, seven exactly. It rolled over, and then I shorted some more into 8 o'clock on the pop. So I shorted some more at like 7. I admittedly, look, this is where I sold it. Let me take some of these off. So then here's what I did. So I got short the first one like somewhere right in here, and then no, sorry, nope. I remember it was 7 o'clock on this pop. But I remember it was like the high was like 75. It was like 75.97, but I got 75.90, and then I said, it's big risk, 10 points, but I was willing to accept that risk. Okay, so I'm short a little bit of futures here. All right, so follow me, walk through the thinking with me on this one. So I shorted one contract, right? I just wanted to have something on because I was so close to 7,600. And when these sells come, like I was risking 10 points on it, but if the math was right, the move should have been, when the ES sells, it's a hot knife through butter, and it's going to collapse quickly, right? Okay, so then what I did was I sold one. I sold the first one, and then when I saw we retraced at about 8 o'clock, I sold one right in here. I sold one at I think it was 75.87. So I had like 90 and 87 or 86, and then it popped back up to this high at 75.95. And I shit you not, I had my stop at like 98. It came 3 points to my stop. And I remember thinking to myself, I was thinking, gosh, you should just put your stop above 7,600. And at that point I had 3 contracts on, and I was short like 75.88. I was like, that's 12 points on 3 contracts. That's not, that's risk right there. I didn't want to swallow that. So anyhow, but it never got up there. It never really came up above 7,600. It never came up to 76.98. I was so happy when I saw this candle print on the 5 minute, because it was a bearish outside print, and that that kind of co-signed the move. And the next candle print followed through, and I kept my stop up there for pretty much the rest of the night, 75.98. And I went to sleep. I woke up at about 2 in the morning, and I checked it, and we were trading, we were trading in here somewhere. And I remember I said, just leave the stop on because they're going to rally it. But if you're right, then the rally should die. If you try to trail it too tight, you're going to get stopped out needlessly. So I had to treat it more of like a position trade. And I have not been doing that. I've not been position trading very often. So I was pretty much, I had to coach myself through it. And look, I wasn't predicting. I want to be clear about that, because I often say react, don't predict. I wasn't predicting today's sell-off. I was preparing for the possibility. I was trying to short it all day yesterday, really close to my exit, just testing it. And once the writing was on the wall and we were moving higher yesterday, I scalped it. I was not willing to stay in any of those trades because it was up against the higher time frame, the analysis I had on the higher time frame. So again, added there, and then when I went to sleep, I just left it on. I had to literally walk away from the screen because I tend to do dumb shit if I watch every tick. So sometimes you have to hack that trader and just step away. And then fortunately, we got the big break. Again, I'm not predicting. I'm just sharing what I thought would happen. And fortunately, hopefully you guys got something out of that as well.
First pullback, take trade.
All right, getting that move lower here, getting that move lower. So I got some futures on here short. I'm still short these three at when I was talking. I said I got some futures on here, 75.41 short, 75.41 short. Let's just flip this chart out. This ATA just executed a long trade, man. That's horrible. Oh shit, I didn't want that, guys. I left this ATA on, and it executed a long trade. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and I always say I'm gonna leave these ATAs and let them do their thing, but shit, I don't know. Never easy with those. That's why some days I don't turn them on because I get confused as to what I should do. All right, back to the chart, back to the folks watching, tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for supporting the show. Let's see, we're getting moved lower. Just chatting with my boy Bo, who's broadcasting live in the pit as the same. So make sure you guys check them out as soon as I go off. Or, this is the great thing about having such a good, a diverse amount of traders and talent is that, we can, different traders can come on and share their perspectives, share their views. I think one of the things that's benefited me the most in trading, undoubtedly, has been to always, oh shit, look at this, I'm tracing on me. It has been to be curious. So I'm always curious about how other traders see the market, but more importantly, I'm always curious about how they're trading it. All right, I just took that. I'm gonna take this off. Came back in on me really tough. I don't want this above. I don't want it above here. I don't want it above 46, 47. That's for sure. So I'm in at 41. You got to watch this because it can get really volatile really fast. Maybe we're carving out. Maybe there's the final test higher. I left the ATA on. I'm going to close out this ATA long. I'm just going to take the 2 ticks. It's bothering me that I have to focus on opposing trades. Even though I said, you know what? Here's what I'll do. I'll just tighten up the stop. I told myself that I'd let the ATAs run autonomously. So if I'm in a short, because my analysis tells me to be in a short, and the ATA pulls out a long, I'm supposed to leave it on because it's kind of like a hedge against my own trading. And if I close out the trade every time I'm in one of my positions goes against it, it kind of negates the hedge. So again, remember, resistance isn't a line. 7,600 didn't cause today's sell-off. It just exposed buyers who were running out of conviction. That's the most important determination I think I can share with everyone. I've been talking about this level for days. And today it's not some magic number. It's really discernible to everybody in the chart. And you would have been able to notice it if you follow the context, follow the day's occurrences, right? No one day makes a trend, but put that roadmap together. Watch the clues of the market, right? Every time the market was rallying, and then that rally would peter out in midday, was a sign to me. It was like this. There's no there. When we're in a really bullish market, the market is rallying, right? And they'll have these pullbacks, and then you can see these new tranche of buyers coming in, and they're extending the market higher. That's not what we were getting. It seemed almost like they were push price lower in the morning, and then it would short cover into the morning session, and then that short covering was being used for larger players to take profits on their longer term positions. So every time we got into a high, they were just taking it off. It would just move right back down, and it would move down fast like this today. It would move down. It would bleed out slowly, and that's another big clue. And if you think about it like that, the trade wasn't made today. It was made the moment we respected 7,600 last night at yesterday's close, and on the Globex Open, when I saw 7,600 again was respected. And if you putting together that people were selling into that level, and a lot of the thinking was a lot of large money players are going to see this as the last opportunity to take probably the best profit on their position. Say that they're long from 6,500, right? And they're legging out of their big positions. Always think about those larger players who can't unwind an entire position in a day because they're afraid to move the market, and they'll get worse prices on their positions. All right. This is why I take a lot of time to draft out the market blueprint. This is why really I love talking to you guys about it, because it kind of helps me. Oftentimes these thoughts have just been singularly in my own head, but now I get to share them publicly, and then I go back and I review some of the things that I said. It sounds a little bit more clearer. It makes me remember it a little bit better, whereas before I used to just write everything down and take it in notes. All right, so looks like we're just coming back and testing up again here. I'm going to 2 points. All right, I just took one off for a 2-point loss on that one. 2-point loss. The ATA got the first target. So I'm going to go ahead and just accept this loss. Just feel like over trading at this point. So I have a total of, Jesus, it's a lot of contracts. I have a total of 5 contracts short right now, a little bit more than what I'd like. I kind of have to respect the stop on this. It's 47, but I'm winning at 42. That's a 5-point stop. I guess that's in line. Excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and tighten up the stop on the ATA. Just check this here. And then I'll have to take a quick bathroom break, team. Just give me a hot second here. Let me make sure I have this stop in right. Dang it. I think I got ahead of my skis here on this short. I know how to get in on this, and it's not here. You got to wait until it tests higher and then runs out of steam, and then sell it. This is not a good entry. This is not a good execution. That's why I'm bleeding points here needlessly. One thing I'm always trying to be mindful of that is a mistake on my behalf is I'll get a good position, and then that good position will lead me into overconfidence. And even though I'll have small losses, they're needless losses. It's an area where I can improve. Like I just gave up the I just gave up 2 points on one. It looks like I'm gonna have to take this one off. So I'm down $300 on this one, just being, again, I don't think that the low is in. I think we're going to move lower. We're just going to chop around here a bit. Again, guys, I want to remind you that we're doing a giveaway this week on Friday. We're going to give away a $50,000 account at Pitbull Trader. So remember to come back in, tune in all week. We'll have the details out. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. Let's see. I think it's live now. Hang on. Hang tight. Let's see. All right. I'm going to grab a quick drink guys. Team, bear with me here a moment. I'll be right back. I'm going to leave the stop in. Hopefully I'll come back to a nice surprise. I think letting the ATA rock, letting the ATA do its thing is the right thing to do here. Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do. Let's see. All right, hang tight. I'm going to grab something to drink. Hey guys, thanks for holding on. Looks like the position made it. I shouldn't have covered that one contract. I should have been a little bit more, should have been a little bit more fortuitous on that and held it. But again, there's no perfect way to do this. I want to be really clear on that. There is no right or wrong way, no right or wrong way to trade. The way to trade is how it suits your personality and how do you control your risk. The only thing that would be, I would say, would be definitively wrong with trading is losing your money and not being able to trade. So however you get to the point where you're not losing money, it can be justified. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. Success can be, and be mindful. Success can be just as dangerous as failure. And you guys saw that one of the biggest, like I just shared that, one of the biggest mistakes that I still make, even after 15 years of trading, is winning. And my biggest losses usually come right after, don't come after losing trades. They come after winning trades. I'm pretty good about walking away. But my biggest losses come after winning trades, or my most frequent losses. And so the trade doesn't get me into trouble. What happens is after the trade does. Confidence makes money. Overconfidence gives it right back. Unfortunately. The market has a funny way of punishing you right after it rewards you. That's for sure. Okay, moving lower here. So getting that extension. I think that just to circle back to that statement I was making earlier, I think too many traders try to trade like somebody else. Trading like yourself is really the important part. So just keep that in mind. Again, so let's just circle back to the setup and let's just discuss where this trade might run into problems. So for that, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dial into my trade plan. Let me just see what the 74.80, 75.36. So we're at support buy number 2. Yeah, it's tricky here. It's tricky. Being at support by number 2, I'm going to have to take some of this off. Excuse me. Yeah, look, it's already moving higher. Yeah. I just took one off for about 3 points. Just makes sense. It just makes sense. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and close out this trade here. I've got about 26 points in this trade. I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Again, so this is a breakdown short from the open. I'm going to go ahead and close it out. It's about a 30 point gain. I think it's time to ring the register on this one, especially since price is stalled out. I'm also going to go ahead and take another one off of this at 51 points. Gosh, I really want to hold this until the end of the day. I mean, it's just 5 grand in the trade. I think I need to take it. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. Here's the plan. I'm going to take this one off here. This 26 point gain, I'm going to close it. I'm going to hold the other 2 that are short from 75.88. I think that's a solid plan. Then I can trade. I can always trade back around this later on. What time is it? It's 11. Right, so we can be coming into that. We just made a high. Could be coming into another low. Let's just take a look at where the low is. Yeah, I don't think that's the low of the day. I'm going to go ahead and here's what I'm going to do on this. I'm just going to tighten up the stop really tight. I don't want it above there. If it keeps going from there, I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense, guys. Let me just check the comments. Yeah, I think this makes sense. I think that if it does break lower here, if it does come back up here, I'm out, right? I'll take the 42. That'll be a 23 point gain. And then I'll take some of the risk off the table. I don't need the last 5 points. I need to keep the first 30 that I made and not trade in that account again. I think that's the idea. I think for the rest of the day, so let's just talk about what the next setup would be. As we circle into, gosh, it's 11:30 now. My mouse is getting really sticky. That means the battery must be dying. I better plug it in. Yeah, that's a lot better. I'm going to go ahead and keep scalping these out. But I think that we probably are in for a bit of a move higher. So another idea would be I don't want anything to do with any long trade though. So I'm going to wait for a deeper, higher retracement to sell. Okay, so where does that materialize? Any retest that fades into 75.50, I'm going to sell it. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Let me sketch it out on the higher time frame chart. So look, this is what I'm going to do on this next setup. So we had, I said anything that retests 75.50, right? So that's, this is not right. Let me just look at this. Hang on. I don't think I have these numbers right. Nope. 75.99. And then this is, I want to see where value area low is from yesterday. That would be 75.7650. And this goes up to the 6th. I didn't have those numbers in right. 75.52. Okay. So any retest of 75.52, yesterday's low, I'm going to try to sell that. So that's my next setup. Again, I'm going a little bit against the market blueprint because it's got a long setup here, but you know, that's a support area. All right, got the first fill on this account. So looking for a little bit lower here. See if I can get it. I think we're going to chop around for a bit. I better stay nimble. Better stay nimble here. Come back up. Check the order flow. It's a delta here. Yeah, see? But like it's not like it just lower highs. So all right, I just took one off for I just took one off for like a 2 tick. It's just I should have held it. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Put it back on. I'm over trading this now. I just spoke about that. I have to be mindful of that. Like I was just saying, I'm always trying to be mindful of. I'll get in a good position, I'll make a good trade, and then instead of staying in that disciplined mindset that got me into that position, the good trade creates overconfidence. I feel overly secure with the trend, and the next few are small losses, and those little losses, although look in a larger context, they're not the end of the world. However, they're just an area where I can improve. Tying up these orders here. And I'm going to go ahead and close this trade out here, just because I said that. Just because I mentioned that. Tying up the stop a little bit more. I'm just going to trail it down aggressively. All right, getting some extension lower. Good. Let's see if we can finally get and break lower.
Target filled.
All right, got it. Good job. All right, got that other column filled. So sorry, I was watching that off screen. Got that one filled. Nice. Okay. $73, 36. If we get down to 26, I'm taking it off. Let's see. Okay. That's moving right back up. Yep. I'm going to probably chop around a little bit before we get moving forward. All right, let's look at the higher time frame. Let's go through this again. I'm not executing anything just yet. So look, heads up, right? Let's moving higher. Let's just take a look at this. Let's see. This is the daily chart, right? So the 50 period moving average. We're back testing the 9 period moving average. I'm not too concerned about that. All right. And then now this is retracing on me again. So yeah, that retest down there, not feeling great about that. Meaning that I think we can probably trade higher for a little bit here, or at least stay in balance. So I'm going to likely take this trade off. Just reload higher if it gets up there. Hear what's going on in the pit. Let's pipe it. Let's pipe the pit in.
Long 38.25.
All right, Bo. Looks like Bo's trying some longs in here.
I'm just
looking
for +3 and +6 on the first two.
Dang it. Looks like this one's going to come in on me. I'm taking it off.
Remember the level I was talking about in NQ? It's the 319 level. They could sell that again pretty hard and reject it pretty hard here, but
take trade.
now they're up and through it. So let's see if there's any follow through. All right, I got one of mine back. So I moved my stop. Uh-oh, what happened? Oh, I know, because it was I put those in before my position. So I got two of them back. I got my +3 and my +6. Okay, and now I'm just gonna have my stop down here. I mean, I could leave it down here at below the low of this first bar, but I really want to see this bar now close above and really rip through the 47s, right? Now, I don't know what's going on. Is there news or not? It doesn't matter, but we do see that NVIDIA got through its RTH high. You know, and sometimes that's all it takes is identification of some little mini divergence to where, you know, you're just trying to identify it. Does the market care about this or not? And if it does, they flip, you know, it's easy for the algos to flip the buy programs on. They, you You know, they've sold enough this morning, right? Like, how much more do they want to sell before some of this stuff tomorrow and next? And you know, I mean, maybe they do. Maybe they still have to take these things down a lot. Again, if you can't get over the 47s, you could have a false breakout here, the 47s, to where it ends up being a really good entry to the short side, and where they sweep it and then take it all the way down to 7,500. It's possible, you know. We can have thin market sell-offs as much as we can have thin market rallies, right? But again, I'm watching NVIDIA to see if it can close this gap. You know, I want to see it trade above 195, and if it can, they can really start coming in here on the buy side because of the rotations that happen all the time in these markets, right? So my system is to see if I can get 12 points on the runner. If it closes above, say, 50 and a quarter, then I'll move my stop to just like 46 and a quarter to lock in 8 points on that runner, and then I'll just see if we can get one that moves all the way back
All right, I
up
just got stopped out on that
to
one.
the longer moving average that I have up there.
Glad I took that other one off. That
you know, possibly the open.
Cool.
Or possibly we
Glad
go
I
all
got
the way up and through
out of that one.
day.
Let me just go down a little bit. Oops, looks like I lost my connection. You know, in hindsight, I should have took setup number 3 down there for the long. Okay. All right. So now we just got that little pop there. So I'm going to go to the trade plan and see what we can execute in this area. But we got the setup. So setup number 3 is support buy into 74.28 to 31. So you know, thinking that the best setup of the day was the breakdown short below 74.08. Gosh, that's wrong. It's supposed to be 75.08. Here we go. All right, nothing. Now we're getting that move higher. Thanks for checking in. If you guys are just checking in, I'm Manny. I'm tracking the ES futures. We had a short position. We had a couple of short positions on earlier in the day. Let's just review the setup as we walk through it. So on this chart, we're going to take a look at the higher time frame. Okay, what's been the ruling reason for this trade, and why we think that that the recent uptrend is likely over, at least for now. Let's just go back. Let's just get back into it. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, price is moving higher. It's going to retest that area up there, like the yesterday's low at 75.52. But we're just going to walk through the setup again. My Manny from Pitbull Traders, author of the Market Blueprint. One thing I want to review with you is that we had our all-time high trade at 76. This was our all-time high at June 1st. And that high came in at 76.32. We put in the 76.32 high. From then, we had the big look above and fail of that 76.32 when we came back and retested it. Now, typically what you would want to see on this retest is that price comes up, retests it, kind of holds it, and then moves higher. That is not what we saw. We definitely saw price retrace and also come back into this prior downtrend. Okay, so in essence, what we had is the big look above and fail, and then price came back in, making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. And then subsequently on this rally, on this retracement of this downtrend, we've been noting that the context has kind of been, there hasn't been any new money buying to support higher prices. And so we think that this rally was just simply a retracement or a distribution phase of this larger balance. And we thought that prices were going to kind of pull back in. I think that this could be a start of a larger move. However, I don't want to get too far ahead of my skis. For now, we've been monitoring the 7,600 level as a potential resistance point all week. That panned out pretty good yesterday. And then yesterday we closed just at the high, and I think it got a lot of people trapped. And now we've just been moving lower. We opened at blowbacks last night at 6 p.m. We tested it again, and it's been nothing but down price action ever since. I still have a small piece of a small piece of a short trade on from yesterday from 75.88. That was short last night. And I'm looking to see if I can hold that into the close. We'll see. It's never easy. I did have a few scales on it. I took a 10-point scale as well as a 50-point scale. Trades that hold overnight are typically easier for me to hold. Holding has always been is typically a challenge for a lot of traders. It's something that I've worked on for a long time, and I've been able to kind of hone the skill, so to say. Let's see what's going on in the pit. I'm going to pipe the pit in here and see what Bo's up to.
Get set up with that. And once again, like,
I think Bo had a nice long trade from 76.38.
A few of you guys, I'm always glad to help with anything you want, but also just with like setup. So if you're trying to do a Pitbull account, if you've never done one before and stuff like that, you know, it's not terribly hard, but there are some sort of nuances to just the software and how it, you know, when you go onto the website, it's a little bit not exactly correlating. Like it just kind of takes a little figuring out how it all works. So it's easy for me to help anyone who needs, and you know, I can share my screen and walk you through it, and whatever that kind of stuff happens, whatever you need there. And obviously with any other kind of trading and stuff too, I'll put my links in for my room and for my website, and hopefully I'm helping some of you guys just hear some other ideas and perspectives and how you can formulate some trade ideas, and even on the fly, you know, because that's kind of what I like to do, is read and do this stuff in real time and on the fly. It's just one of the things I enjoy about it. So we'll leave it at that. I'll leave my screens up for a little bit, even though I'm gonna get off the live cast, and then maybe get some climbing in this afternoon. So thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, remember, guys, this is the retest right here of yesterday's low. So be careful here. I think the good time to reload this is going to be at 12:30. Honestly, let's see. Is that right? Hang on. I gotta check. I have to check something here. Ugh. I think I got something wrong. Hang on. Okay. Yeah, so I didn't see you there, Easy Money. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So I'm just kind of scanning that out now. Hang on. So we're testing now. We just got above yesterday's low, right? We're testing that little notch there. Let me just take a look at the profile. So let those fingerprints fill. Fingerprints go all the way up to 75.60. And that would be. I mean, if it's going to go lower, that's where it would go from. That would be way up here. I'm not sure we make it that far. Let me see. Hang on. Yep, I like it. Mid to low 60s, right? Yep, that could be it. See what happens here on this after this next retracement. I almost like probing one here, though. To be honest with you, let me just wait. I have just scanning here. Just bear with me. I'm risking 3 here. Wait, hang on. If I can get it, so you have to slow down. I've got 1 on. I'm trying to get 2 on, but I don't like the way the delta just picked right back up on me. I've got 2 on now. I'm not letting it get above 55.75. If I see a quick flip in the delta, I'm gone. Yep, nope, I'm out 1. Yeah, I'm out. Yeah, they came in too quick on that delta. All right, I'm standing fast right now for a bit. Too obvious, maybe. Give back a couple there. See what happens at 60. VWAP is 60. Take a look at this. Is she ready yet, Chan? I think I might try this again. I just lost 2 on it, so I'm gonna be cautious here. 54.75. Got 54.75. I'm trying to use the order flow here to get into the mid morning high. Let's just see. A little bit early on it, but it is time. See if it sticks. Trying to get one off here at 47, 75. I think this might be all I can get though. 4 points here before we start retesting that high. I think so. This high here probably gets retested at some point. This one. So if you're flat and you're looking for something, I think we can retest this high. Probably retests. Like, or saying that I doubt it'll go this. I think what it'll do is it'll go this, come back up, this, that, something like that. Yeah, you can see it found that little footing right there at that little, the low of that little last 5-minute bar. It depends on how you want to treat it, right? Do you want to treat it as a position or do you want to treat it as a scalp? I tend to flip, I tend to go move back to scalps if I have like some ground to make up. Like, so I just lost those couple of points there. I'm probably going to have to scalp one out here, get back some of that. Yeah. Here's the retest. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to leave the stop in above 58. Let me just see how that ended pretty good. I like the way that ended. Meaning that I like the way the order flow, how the order flow ended up there. How the buyers kind of fizzled out. See if I get one at 55 quarter. Yeah, no, they came in too fast on them. Yeah, +2, -4. So look, -2 on that one. Total net. I think it was worth a shot. What time is it? All right, it's noon. Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up for me. That's it for me for today. I may check back in the afternoon, but I'm going to take some time away from the desk, go grab something to eat, and I'll be back later on today. Thanks for appreciate your stopping by. Hopefully I helped you out a little bit today. If not, tomorrow with another day, maybe I will be able to come back on in the afternoon. We'll see. I always want to. Sometimes I don't have a coaching client today. So, all right. If you got anything at all, please hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow. Thanks.